Good evening, beautiful people. Okay. I trust that you are having fun wherever you are. Let's just fix something. Good evening. I trust you're having a great time. Welcome to Jazz Outside the Box, your space for sonic engagements. It is Wednesday, your day for jazz music and engagements around jazz. Yes, I did promise you that we are having a guest, a beautiful one indeed. We're going to tell you more about it and the reason why she's here. But we just thought, let me just come in and tell you guys that it's not just music being played by the AI, but there are people behind the microphones, and there are people at the studio. And yes, we are live from East London studios. Ken R, your radio, according to you. So we start our show by playing you nice music, and we had earlier the late Mama Gloria Bossman. Those that have been following her will know that she played her last concert in East London at Gale Theatre. It was very beautiful, and we're so blessed to have her share her heart before she transitioned. And after that, we played you Datu Huma Sekela singing Mama. And after that, we played you Mandisi Janjis again singing Mama Lo. Now we just played Mama Nomfundo Aluva singing Bayateta. You can see that the theme is quite similar. We are paying homage to women or mama, so we don't get tired. So let's continue playing some more music, and she's gonna come through. She's gonna come in. Of course, I wouldn't want to forget that this is one of the heaviest weeks in East London, where we're mourning the passing of the two important drummers in the music scene. This day was quite, heavy because we were attending Sipe's memorial service, which was very beautiful. There was a lot of music that was being played there, and people, sharing beautiful stories. And on Monday, we learned of the passing of Clement Benny. Those will know him. Very tall guy and curly hair, sense of humor, and beautiful drama. So it is that time where we are just, finding difficulty to breathe our way around this rather sad situation. But nonetheless, we find comfort in music, and we're going to continue playing some more music. And as we pave the way, to really have a conversation with our lovely guest. But for now, let's play some music, and we're going to be live soon. And she's here. It's just that I do not want to show you guys yet, but she's here. So I'm just keeping her wrapped in that beautiful present box. I'm gonna present it to you guys. So pretend as if it's new when I finally uncover it. Okay, let's continue playing music. Um, What is a home without a mother? We are still there, holding it down, and there's just no other way that we cannot, there's just no way that we cannot celebrate women. Um, Even this month, even if you can count 31 days or so, it's not enough considering their efforts, considering everything they've done for us. So, yeah, but nonetheless, we continue to celebrate them this way. We won't stop this Wednesday. We'll continue. Okay, she is here. Um, let's welcome Spogazi Billy. And sometimes I struggle to. She's married. I started knowing her before the new life she now has. And she was Pogazi Ngokolo. Now she's Pogazi Billy, officially Mamu Billy. Welcome, Mama. How are you?
Thank you for having me, Zuko. And there's Bulselana, Wama Pulipuli. They're just outside the box with Mr. Yigi. I'm ecstatic to be here.
Thank you so much. And I've been looking forward to having you here. Of course, our journey starts way before 40 days. But we found ourselves there pursuing what we are still pursuing today. But if you were to introduce yourself beyond what is written there, and how would you unpack Uspogazi? She's a giant. how would you negotiate that kind of introduction?
I like that word, negotiation.
Mm.
um, um, if they would not try, I should introduce myself. Firstly, I'm a mother.
Mm.
I am a mother. I am a daughter, a sister, an educator. Something that I'm passionate about. Ngoba into yokufundisa is an extension of
it. Yeah.
I'm an educator. Thank you. I'm an educator. Jeez. I'm a scholar.
Oh, yeah.
I like pushing the boundaries.
I see. Beautiful. And I can safely say that you did not leave anything behind, unless you're still gonna tell us, during the course of our conversation. But your journey does not start with you being who you are now. You happen to come from a family that is musical and that has quite a significant history around jazz vocation. And would you mind telling us more about that?
Okay. My father, Tato Tobile, Sydney Tobile Ngolo, was born at Port Alfred, and landed up at Duncan Village. So we come from a musical family. Nase Gawa at Port Alfred.
Okay.
His brother, Tatomncanco Michael Ngolo, was a trombonist and also a choral musician, composer. Apha ke ekuhambeni kobomi, my dad formed a musical group up at Duncan with the likes of Ono Sajane, no Tato Johnny Gyan, the exile bassist. My love of music, ndingatsho ndithi ndingcanca ebeleni, because the primary source of umculo, or the soundscape or the musical ear, to me was like hearing umculo that my dad used to play,
Yeah.
and falling in love with that.
Mm.
and years later pursuing
Mm.
this vocation,
Yeah.
yomculo.
It must have been interesting growing up in that kind of family setup that is always, nuanced with these rich sounds at the very same time. You having other ideas in terms of what you would want to pursue career wise. And I'm privy to the knowledge that you pursued something else first, and then later on, and the bug got you, and you made a sharp turn, back to where you are right now. How difficult or how easy was that transition?
um, it was quite a difficult one because we are always having to beckon with our passions. Not to say that our families don't support lento siyifunayo,
Mm.
because they do at times. My family was very supportive of what I had wanted.
Yeah.
I made the decision, and ndakhula ke apha ekukhuleni kwam, I studied music nasesikolweni. And when I went to varsity, I made the decision that I am going to pursue something else. Ndayofunda e-BTech,
Yeah.
yayi-BTech ngoko.
Mm.
Zuko's revealing that I'm not so young.
Oh wow. Mm.
And yeah, e-BTech,
Mm.
ndafunda i-biomedical technology. The funny thing is that with your passion and your love, once it's got you,
Yeah.
unzima
To let
ukuphulukana
go.
nayo.
Yeah.
After classes, I used to go to music sessions
Yeah.
almost
Oh
every
man.
day.
Oh man.
So bendiphuma ndisiya emculweni, rehearsals, or just to watch umculo, and that was part of a routine that I had.
Mm.
Weekends, if andifundani neencwadi zam, ndikwinto yomculo.
I see.
So this was like a double life for me, and I knew where my heart was.
Mm.
Ndahlala ke ndaphangela in PE. I stayed in PE for about 10 years. And throughout that 10 years, at the back of my mind, there was always this unhappiness and ungroundedness, I should say, because I wasn't where I should be. I made a decision in 2013, but I am coming back to East London,
Yeah.
and pursuing umculo.
Mm.
2014, I got to East London. No, 2013, I got to East London. And I told myself I've been away from home for ixesha elide,
Yeah.
and I'd really wanted to
Mm.
look for something that is going to be closer to home.
Yeah.
So, upon my luck, I found that Forte Music Department also offers a music course. I enrolled again, and yaqalela apho. And I always say that it was a difficult decision because you don't have a salary anymore. You have a family to look after, and
Yeah.
the comfort that you're so used to,
Yeah.
But I ndingumuntu who's always optimistic
Yeah.
and hopeful, and not scared to try out something new. So ndazixelela uba it will just pave itself out. If this is what I am supposed to do,
Yeah.
then, and it's ringing so loudly in my ears, then I should just follow it. From the first day I got to a Forte Music Department, I knew that this is where I was supposed to do.
Mm.
This is um me coming back home.
Yeah.
In a sense, in a spiritual sense, in a way,
Mm.
because liqalele kuwo lo mculo,
Yeah.
and me being away from it was sort of like an exile to me.
Mm.
So this was me coming home
Mm.
spiritually, mentally,
Mm.
physically, and
Yeah.
I've never been happier, and I've never turned back.
Wow. I would want us to zoom into dynamics that are not necessarily known by other people. And the reason I'm doing that, it is because you became part of a cohort that would bring about transformation in that space, and your fighting spirit towards really getting what you signed up for. Can you please take us through that journey? How also your vigor introduced, a transformation, and expanding the curriculum so that it would be tailored, but at the same time to be one of a kind that really responds to your needs as a jazz singer.
Thank you so much for that question. Zuko, when we got to Effort Music Department, um, it, it was we are fikake like at any other institution, and this is the curriculum.
Mm.
And somewhere along the line, it wasn't speaking to the here and now of um, abantwana abamnyama,
Okay.
and also to the creative sense. It wasn't speaking to the here and now, the current status quo of
Mm.
creatives. Luckily, I always say God will always place a man in alignment or angels in your
Mm.
path.
Mm.
I was so blessed to have Professor Twane in
Mm.
our midst at that time, no, Dr. Makatin. Um, and fortunately, Dr. Makatini had joined the music department from
Mm.
the AVC at that time. Yayingekho jazz ufika kwethu at the onset. And as a vocation or within the curriculum,
Mm.
the jazz pedagogy encompasses so much,
Mm.
especially kumntu oyithandayo who lives
Yeah.
and breathes it. So this was one of the things that Nunani Wemchemla that
Yeah.
we fought for. And thank you to all the SRC members who listened to us ngelaa xesha, and nabaphathi belaa
Mm.
xesha. I'd mentioned to Professor Twan. So sazojoinwa Mrs. Makatin, who was our voice lecturer at the time.
Mm.
Our only two students then, and then
Mm.
Nolethu Xobole joined in, I think a year later or 2 years later. But initially, saqala sibabini.
Mm.
Yikhulile la department into this beauty that it is. I think sometimes we are too lenient on our dreams and what we want, or what we need. So zange siyozelele ke thina ngelaa xesha, and it was also not a forced thing. It was a beckoning, and hence in the city we were so fortunate to have such leaders at that time. abazasimamela. So wafika Mrs. Makatini, who was a beautiful jazz lecturer at the time and so gifted. And we learned so much, and we're still learning so much from her. So, yakhula ilolo hlobo.
Yeah.
And forward to many years after being a graduate, I got encompassed into the system, and I am now a music and arts administration lecturer at the department. Nalapho ke iqale how it started was that East London is quite a creative hub from way back, from way back. So we started as workshops and inviting certain creatives who would sometimes in East London. Could you please come to the music department and grace us with your presence? So this became an ongoing thing, and just heightened the whole value system of education. And also that spoke a lot to the decolonial process of teaching, and education, because here was students, babemema, creatives from the outside to come into the formal space of learning. Sizofunda kubo. So this raised a lot of questions and also answered a lot of questions. And I always say that teaching or pedagogy, arts is one difficult one, because it's not about you standing in the middle of the class ufundisa iphelela apho. There is the practical essence of it, and so much more, because it also encompasses a community of creatives that you also learn from. So this, I think, was the essence of motivation of why I had wanted as the workshops, etc., and engagements into the department just as a student at that time. But it was quite important for me to imfundiso of the creative sense or musical sense of abafundisi abaphambi kwam and my peers nabalingana nam, whether they are coming from the formal space or informal space.
Wow. Great background you are giving us, because a lot of people would not know how the jazz department came about. And sometimes we always learn about these things when people are late and when we start paying tribute to them, as if we are not aware about new histories, that are unfolding, while we're still, able to see them, and they're happening around us. They're being done by people that we know, people that we live with. And if now people can see the music department, how big it is, and I mean, compared to the time when you guys started and literally no just student, and then you guys got in two students, and then it grew and grew, and so we really celebrate you, because the likes of us and many more would not have gone through that, course, if it wasn't for the works that you guys put in. Thank you. Thank you. And yeah, I would like us to tap into another direction. Recently, we just came back from Cape Town, where we attended SASRIM conference, and you were amongst the cohort that went there to present a very compelling study. And to some extent, because I've been listening and observing and sometimes learning how your story touches back to your father, and sometimes extends to the direction in which he was involved, his companions in the music journey, and your study happens to be in that direction. Please take us through.
I knew you were going there.
Oh yeah.
The thing with my study, it was so matter of factly. I remember me being a first year, so since I presentations, and I think it was you had to choose any composer. So mine was on avant-garde music and Tatu Johnny Jan. Imagine this first year coming to talk about avant-garde music.
Wow, you have an idea of where you wanna
go. So this took my lecturers aback a bit, but it was so interesting because years later, in my fourth year, I didn't struggle in terms of what
choosing
I want to write, choosing a topic. This is what I am writing about. So I think the motivation for it as well was the few literary sources that are available on Black musicians. Let me be frank. On Black musicians who have contributed so much to the South African and international songbook and discography. That was my motivation first and foremost. And also me being a daughter in Zalelwane Yasemdantsane.
Yeah.
I was like at the pinnacle of, let me write about something that's closer to home. Charity begins at home. So let me write about something that is closer to home. And show nabanye abantu and invite nabanye abantu to my home. Being umdansane neziphaluka. So and also having my father, who's also in a musical group, the Boogie Brothers, Tatu Jani, and the stories that I heard from him, and just the music landscape from dancing to music to visual arts to acting, like Duncan Village was the hub.
Yeah.
From Eric Nomvetes, who are at the Duncan Village, or Gibson Kente, Louis Moholo coming to stay over, Otatu Tete Mbambisa, Otatu Toli Goduka, and so many other musicians who come, Mama Mupina Sasalo, who come from this place. which is now not known because of the remnants of force removals and the painstaking results zayo,
Yeah.
which is crime, etc., etc. So I basically wanted to shine a spotlight on Lendao, my home, um, and that is what motivated me. So my topic is the voice of Johnny Gianni in Duncan Village and in Exile. So in my study, Kezuko, I utilize the imagery of a musical echo, you know,
Okay.
um, to try and paint an imagery of Tatukiani's music and his voice in trying to locate him through a sense of memory as well. Memories of ukukhula kwakhe in Duncan Village and the music that inspired him and the music akhule ewenza apha and how that inspired him also in exile and also the imagery of echo. It's sort of
It's recurring.
recurring.
Yeah.
So napa exile, what was he sending back home? Sonic citations and memory and trying to you know reverberate that through his music. So in a sense, I tried to fill that gap in
Yeah.
my writing, of which I pelanga. I always say writing is ongoing. And it doesn't stop.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
doesn't stop.
Yeah.
So I try to shape that and try to highlight that in my study, and also fill in the gaps of um, his musical nuances from a Duncan Village, because not a lot is known about musicians. That's a Duncan Village, and also his music. He was part of groups like the Four Yanks, Notatutate Mbambisa,
Yeah.
the Boogie Brothers, the Revelers, many other groups, in a short space of time. And him being quite young at that time,
Yeah.
because he left in the 60s, SMNG, a teen, actually. So imagine all of that in your system.
Yeah.
Those are the earliest memories that you have, and of your musical sense, and that's what basically makes you. So I tried to fill that in the scanty literature ekoyo, because most of what is written about him is through um, Dadu Chris McGregor, Sensible Group.
Yeah.
So I tried to singulate him as, because he's his own person, his
Yeah.
own musician. I
Yeah.
tried to
Yeah.
singulate him, even though he was part of the suit, Tutukwana, no Nick Moyake, no Mongezi Feza, but his singular contribution
Yeah.
just stands out for me. So this through the research, a lot has been uncovered, and he just is revealing so much to me. Even though from the onset this was the topic, but through
Yeah.
the research, I'm getting to know so much about Tatu and what he was about, trying to get to know about him, Mandicho. This was Umdu who was part of groups as Fanane, Jazz Against Apartheid,
Mm.
and ANC Sweden groups with Tatubek Mseleko, Wana Makeba, and many others. So that just highlights and says this
Mm.
was a big person who
Yeah.
did so much
Mm.
also for the contribution of fighting against apartheid,
Mm.
even though he was in exile. And it comes out through in his music and the sonic citation in his music because this is a person who wasn't afraid as
Mm.
well on
Mm.
um, titles of Ingoma or like
Yeah.
or Song for Biko, which was
Yes.
quite taboo
Yes.
at that time,
Yes.
you know, and also Blame It on the Boers, you know.
Mm.
So this was a person who was one not afraid, but
Yeah.
also this was one person who was trying to sort of push the barriers as well
Mm.
because he got
Mm.
married
Yeah.
twice to white ladies.
Mm.
So ngela xesha, that was also something that was
Yeah.
quite taboo as coming from South Africa and
Mm.
with our laws ngela xesha you could be
Yeah.
arrested, but because of him just saying this is me and I am going to do what I want, one,
Mm.
and also try and highlight the problems of where I come from
Mm.
in my music and in my
Yeah.
being.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's just so much because one of the things you're talking about is how the music itself could be explored as maybe the text that we need to observe,
Mhm,
learn from in the absence of the literature
mhm,
that does not exist, but through looking into what he was singing about at the time, then you sort of get an idea of where he was sitting and where his mind was at, and the ideas also he wanted to communicate at the time. And also, I mean, I can imagine being in exile, but at the
mm,
same time, I like the word you use, like the echoing
mm.
of the sonic, and being in exile but still being able to sing.
Like a sort of displacement.
Yeah, yeah, but being able to sing back songs like Soma Gwaza,
Mm,
and citing from that bag of traditional relics that this is who I am, and
mhm,
this is the music I'm going to perform. And I mean, he's got very wealth of discography,
mm.
and we don't learn much about that and his contribution. It's very hard to really comprehend, particularly around the time where we should be dealing with the things, where we should be committed to undoing some of the spoils
Mm.
inherited from the apartheid regime. So thank you so much for that, and we're going to play music, and then we're gonna come back. We're gonna extend to this conversation, but only taking another angle. And beautiful people, this is just outside the box, your space for sonic engagements. This is Zuko Yigi, and I'm in conversation with Spogazi Pili, and she's a beautiful singer, and we're gonna talk about that. And she's a very significant scholar, very critical one. We've just started taking that direction. We're gonna extend to it, but for now, let's play you some music. That was a beautiful songstress. Her name is Diti Luzipo. She's singing No Mazocho. Before that, we played You New Way by beautiful songstress and a pianist, Tandin Dooley. Welcome back. If you just joined in, this is Jazz Outside the Box, your space for sonic engagements. We are broadcasting live from East London studios. This is KNR Kithngesi Radio according to you. So we're still in conversation with our beautiful guest, Mamu Billy, Sister Spogazi. We call her Spogi. She wears so many hats, and we are so delighted to have been joined by her. She's taking us through her journey from Oxalwa, studying music and teaching music and writing about music, presenting music. And so we're basically having that kind of great conversation. And it is indeed beautiful. So, yeah, beautiful people. Again, on Monday, you were part of a sterling presentation, or should I say, research work that looks into the works of women, not only in South Africa, but in the global arena. And it's a pity I missed that because we're traveling, and but I hear it was beautiful. And can you please take us through?
I am a board member at the South African Association for Jazz Education. So through networks there, I got to know a lady called Usbongila Enabuda, who's a beautiful bassist. And we happened to share a common love of trying to teach or education of jazz music in rural areas and desperate areas ezidinga imfundiso of music and the arts. So she heads a music academy, Mamelodi, I think. So,
Okay.
and she's a bassist, and she's also part of an all-girls ensemble. So, through that specific tutelage, and my passion for music education of that sort, we got conversating, and this was an initiative, yake, and with Ivets University. So she invited me to this panel, and I was at first flabbergasted. Well, okay, who what me? And I was like, okay. I accepted the invitation, and I spoke on creating spaces for women in the community. And my focus was music community, and creating spaces for women in the music industry as a community, and also in our communities where the culture of the arts and music needs to be instilled. I spoke, I made a reference to myself as I am part of a jazz, Guild Theatre Jazz in Schools program, where we teach school-going children, learners, about jazz, kwizikolo ke lokishini and the outskirts. This is one of the beautiful programs, Circle Theatre, as it's an umbrella that is it's under the umbrella of Artists in Schools program, which is a wonderful program. And Klonyaka babegqiba 10 years under the management of Reggie Danster. What this program does, artists in schools, there are visual artists, dancers, musicians, actors,
Yeah.
who are creative practitioners. What this program does is that it had these cultural workers and places them is Golwin, to also help as well with the teaching of the arts,
Yeah.
which can be quite difficult for a teacher or when they course for
Yeah. That's
education,
not music
and
related.
they are expected to teach drama,
Yeah.
music, and. So this is a beautiful program that uh, does that, and also I would say also instilling a skill set, and also instilling hope. Nakwazi cultural workers as besides being a form of employment, but having to ukhuphela umsebenzi wakho
Yeah.
komnye umuntu, it's as a creative is a lot, and a beautiful process as well. So under the umbrella Yellow Artists in Schools, we formed Jazz in Schools because our focus it was jazz music, with the likes of the late Tatu Kaulana and the late Tatu Rekap. This Jazz in Schools program was formulated because within the school's curriculum, which is quite varied. If isikolo sikhethe music, the kumizekelo, your Altero, which is a jazz artist, a jazz musician, and Nabanya. It doesn't just limit and say you'll particularly focus on this type of music, classical, African, or jazz music. So within the CAPS a curriculum, a document, these different genres are encompassed. So we decided, because we are jazz, because we are jazz creatives, this will be our focus. And also because in yofundisane instruments ezikolweni zethu iba yinto enqabileyo.
True.
If kuyaculwa, then kuyaculwa. So through the support of Kill Theatre, DESREC, and the Department of Education, we've started the group, which is about 3 years old. Yes, Kulonyaka, 3 years old, if not 4 years old, 3 years old. They've helped us so much as now ihlumile. We have first year students at the University of Forte Music Department. One is a drummer. I won't mention names.
Yeah.
It's been a really beautiful program, which also is encompassed by practitioners as Mbalwa.
Yeah.
But it does great things. It does great things. I wish and pray that it can grow from strength to strength as well, because it's an extension of our love for our communities and the love for what we do. Sikwazi ukungena in communities sifundise abantwana about jazz education.
Yeah. Beautiful work. You know, it's really amazing to check how the creative ecosystem has grown over the years in East London, and with many plug points, and the University of Fort being at the center in terms of really, capacitating these creatives, particularly jazz musicians, with the knowledge, the skills they need to have so that they can go out there and service the very same communities from which they come. So, and you find yourself at the center of it, being someone who's gone through there, but at the same time being someone who's now standing on the other side and giving them the necessary tools, giving them the necessary skills, to assist them, grow and propel them to these significant creatives they are. And I won't mention name. We've seen others, go to Gqeberha, and being part of some beautiful initiatives that are being done by the Nelson Mandela Bay Complex, and these are all people that from class, and then now from them being your students and to now being your colleagues, and things are like just coming full circle, and we're so grateful, man, for your contributions, and yeah, we're so blessed to have you as a friend, as a colleague, um, and as a teacher. um, it gives us joy to have women like you that have not forsaken their role of being libraries, but cement it and transcend it, even creating opportunities for other people as well. To a lot of people who do not know, she was my teacher. From us being friends outside school, and when I later decided to enroll for music, she was there. Um, she joined in a little later though, and but nonetheless, she was my teacher. Um, on camp outside, we still had our friendship, and we were colleagues sometimes, and we're still there. So we really appreciate. It's been a beautiful journey. Continue growing, and we wish you all the best. But don't worry, I won't say bye bye. We're still going to talk about tomorrow's engagement, which is very exciting and it's been well received by people. But masiqithe ngomeni, let's play some music. Yeah. That is the late Brazim Zimasile Ngqawana singing us, or rather playing us, Mayenzeke Intando Yakho. Before that, we had the beautiful Tandiswa Mazwai singing Wakazula. Of course, she is paying homage to Mambus Mhlongo. And towards the end of the song, she starts citing Izbongo Sika Mambusi. What a beautiful way. Yeah, we're at the summit of Women's Month, and we thought there's no other better way to end it off with a mother, and who's got everything, who's contributed so much to the monumentous history of this town, particularly around jazz. We're still in conversation with her, and we only having few minutes before we close our eyes and sign out. So tomorrow you are playing a very beautiful set, I'm told, at the Legends, and people have been showing immense interest, pledging that they will be there. What is happening there?
Tomorrow I am going to be joining the series, yeah, Itzulo Lika Mama, curated by Mr. Zuko Yigi. And on the bandstand, I will have my brothers. Mr. Zuko Yigi on bass, oh, Jeffrey on lettering on drums, and my husband, Senator Mapili, on keys, and also have a guest on trumpet, Dumi Peko. What's so special about this particular suit is that sonke sike sayongqubeka kula minyango yakwano college. Hence in the city, it's these are my brothers. That will be holding me under the net and as a safe space tomorrow. I will be sharing songs that I love, firstly, and also by women that I admire. There's so many, okay? There's so many women that have shaped my musical ear and soundscape and my creative interest in so many levels and ways. Too many to jot down or talk about, but for tomorrow, Ngaba Batile and Baketile, but also as well, just to highlight as well an important woman whom I will be sharing a poetry Mamu, the late Mamu Nontsezi Mkweto, who was a poet, an extraordinary poet in the 1920s, who wrote for Umteteli Wabantu, one of the elite editions for Black people in Pleasure. Now, this woman, Lumama, was so brave in so many ways because she was one of the major women, one of the first women to be featured. Whose poetry is in isiXhosa, mostly. Who she has about 97 poems, and I don't know, I think about five or less, more or less 5 articles that she contributed to this paper. Now, for a woman, a Xhosa woman, ngoba uzalelwe apha eTamarha, near Mount Coke. For such a woman to be brave enough to have that kind of voice, and she spoke about Land Act issues, social issues, education for Black people, and so many other issues that affected Black people and women as well. So those are the kind of women that I look up to and I draw inspiration from them. Um, i- Her poetry is so frank and so honest. Um, I got to know of her when a couple of years back I went to an installation corner at the Anne Bryant Gallery. I'm also a lover of art, so I had gone to watch a series and the exhibitions. So it happened that there was multidisciplinary exhibition corner. So there was also poetry being recited.
Yeah.
Um, and that caught my ear, and I got to find out, okay, who was the author of Yellow Poem. Um, for me, I was like, not a lot of people know about this lady. And why is that? You
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah.
I started doing my own research and learning more about her, and I just fell in love with her works. So tomorrow I'll be sharing one or two of her works
Beautiful.
in my repertoire again,
Mm.
and
Mm.
other beautiful music. Um, I don't usually perform all the time as
As you should.
as I should.
Mm.
And get so many things.
Yeah.
One thing takes over any
Mm. Yeah.
research work, tutelage,
Yeah.
but this is a space that I love,
Mm.
and it's a space where I'm able to let go. And tomorrow I'll be paying homage to
Mm.
a lot of women, um, who the voiceless and the
Mm.
brave, the strong
Mm.
and the weak, and showing all types of vulnerability
Mm.
as their strength. So
Yeah.
tomorrow I'll just be closing off Inyanga Yo
Mm.
Mama
Mm.
and saying thank you for being the wonderful beings that you are as women, and
Mm.
all that you withstand, and yet you are able to hold your head up high and um, able to take a step forward.
Yeah.
Um, Women are just, I would say, some sort of deities.
Mm.
Andifuna
Mm.
ukuthi
Mm.
izithixo, but they
Yeah.
are some sort of deities
Mm.
in terms of just their grace and their air
Yeah.
exude so much.
Mm.
So I'll be paying homage to the
Mm.
sister next door,
Yeah.
um, the ordinary mama or
Oh man.
nenyanda enhloko
Mm.
ophakama avuke in the morning and ayothengisa for to put bread
Yeah.
on the table.
Yeah. Yeah.
Myriads of women from walks of
Mm.
life.
Mm.
Just saying
Mm.
thank you.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. And then, yeah, thanks for saying yes. And thank you for really pouring your heart and love and really celebrating women as you are yourself. So we thank you for that. We're towards the closure of this session. To those that do not know, this is the beautiful Sipogazi Bili. She's a singer, jazz singer. She's a lecturer, and she's a scholar. She's a mother. She's a wife. She wears so many hats. She's a sister, and tomorrow it's her concert. It's her show at Legends Creative Hub. Please do pull in. It's gonna be very nice. It's gonna be interesting. The repertoire, the musicians, the pizza, the bar services, the vibe, and yeah, it's a great space. It's a great space. Yeah, that's just about what happens in East London on Thursdays. But also do check out Blue Lagoon on Saturdays between 3 and 7. There's nice jazz going there. Saturdays and Sundays between 3 and 7. There's nice jazz going there. There's also some jazz programs happening at House 87 in Quickney. Please do check it out. Tammy is curating some work there. Also a student from Kwano College. Please do check him out. I wouldn't want to forget sending shout out to Nompozolo in Gqeberha for holding up the space, Kwanqaba Jazz Lounge. And I've been learning that it's not the only place where he's curating, but also One Room has been having a series of curated jam sessions and sometimes concerts. We see what you guys are doing in Tata Ivory. We see what Natani and the friends are putting out there. It's really beautiful work that you're doing in the province. Please keep up the good work. For now, let's play you the music, and that is our way to say good night. We didn't want to forget that we are with the families that are bereaved. Clement Benny's family and Sipem Binele's family, we are with you in prayers. We deeply hurt. We are saddened by your passing, but we take comfort in the beautiful music that we have created together, the beautiful music that you have created and left as long-lasting legacy. So we are saying, see you on the other side. We know that the journey does not end here, but continues until and until. So let's love and leave you, beautiful people.